Business partner due diligence has been inefficient for years. There are four primary reasons. The first is that not all business partners are being covered in the due diligence programs, primarily because companies can't afford it. What is happening is that they're taking a minority of the business partners and they're, through a risk assessment, suggesting that there's a perceived risk that what they do and where they do it and the value of their engagement is what drives potential bribery risk. And that's a perception. Worse, though, is the majority typically are not being included in the program. So there's a whole range of unknown risk, and that unknown risk can be far more impactful long term than the minority that are found. So that's point one, is not everybody's in the program. And the standard is know with whom you're doing business. It didn't say know with whom every fourth person you're doing business. And so that's really a problem today. But as critical is the fact that the data, the core information about the business partners is inferior. Many times they don't know the registered name and the country of registration for their business partners. The databases may be old, the databases may have been collected from multiple acquisitions. The problem is that the due diligence activities require good registered names in order to be able to find these companies in commercial databases. So that's a major second problem. Third is everybody's relying on questionnaires. Questionnaires are suspect by definition. At a minimum, they need extensive validation. What's better is to be able to eliminate questionnaires as the source of due diligence information so that there's much more accuracy in terms of what information is being used for due diligence. Financials is a huge example of that. Financials delivered from the business partner can be very different from what you might find in a commercial database. And then finally, the regulatory standard. The regulators want transparency on a global basis on who's controlling these business partners. It's not just the business partner, it's the business partner and their ownership network that is becoming very much a part of the regulators' expectations for being part of the due diligence. And until that happens, until regulators and companies meet those standards for knowing with whom the business partner and their ownership network really are, that's the point where global corruption can really be slowed. Content is king in due diligence, and BVD has multiple layers of that content. First layer is what we call the entities. So that's your global database of 180 million plus companies that have been vetted, have been added to the database because they could be verified by BVD and its partners. That range gives companies the ability for the first time to not even engage due diligence. Don't spend any money or time on due diligence until you've found that the company actually exists or the person. And that's a huge benefit of BVD because the same risk management tools first require a validated company to be found in the database. So you're not wasting time. Bureau van Dijk is solving the due diligence dilemma in a very straightforward way. Frankly, better than most other companies in the space. They do that, number one, by controlling the consistency with which due diligence is applied. Regulators love the consistency that's applied to all of their business partners, not just necessarily the top risk in terms of perceptions. So the business partner and in the BVD solution will generate some type of scoring, some type of risk analysis that's consistent across every business partner. This gives a great foundation. So you have the ability also, because of the efficiencies of the BVD data-driven analysis capabilities versus an analyst who is far more expensive, you have the ability to do far more of your business partners, frankly, within similar budgets.